Good afternoon, guys. How are y'all? If you're catching the replay, make sure you hashtag replay. I thought I would make my dad some homemade chocolate chip cookies and kind of talk to y'all a little bit about me because I have so many new subscribers and no one knows a lot about me. So I thought I would take this time to chat, but we're going to wait for some people to get on because it's not a scheduled live. So sometimes when that happens, it takes a few minutes for people to see that I'm live. Stay right there. I gotta go get some stuff to make chocolate chip cookies. Taggy boy, we're gonna make some chocolate chip cookies for Papa. I gotta remember what all I need. All right, y'all. I am making my dad. Every time I come in here and cook, he asks me if I'm baking cookies. And the answer is always no. So today I thought I would bake cookies because I want to get to know y'all just as much as y'all subscribing to my page want to get to know me. And a lot of people are new to my page on Facebook and YouTube because of Lester. And I want you to know who I am. So I thought I would tell y'all a little bit about me and a little bit about my testimony and why the farm started and all that stuff. So y'all hang on. Let some people join. Let me go grab I'm going to need flour, sugar, brown sugar, eggs, chocolate chips, vanilla flavoring. Try to think what all goes in chocolate chip cookies. Y'all hang on right there. I'll be right back. Keep holding on. Let some people join. I'll be back. Now that's what I call some sugar. All right, hang on. As I was getting everything down, I remembered that he was going crazy over the peanut butter pie. And I was thinking, should I make peanut butter pie or should I make cookies? What do y'all think? Maybe I should go ask him. Papa! Okay. Yo! Okay. He's literally right there. Hello? Hey. Yeah. I'm talking to you. Y'all see what my life's like. I'm talking to you. It's your lucky day.
What was making?
Do you want me to make peanut butter pie or would you rather have chocolate chip cookies?
Peanut butter pie.
I told y'all. He loved that peanut butter pie. Okay. All right. Can you listen, I have a lot of new subscribers that don't know who you are. So tell them who you are. Tell me your name.
Larry.
This is my stepdad, Larry. And he lives with me. And tell him how old you are in case there's some single women out there that need a hot date.
75.
He's 75 years young. He's single. I'm just kidding. He's been, how long you been living with me?
Uh,
7 years.
7 years.
He's been living with me for 7 years. And just to give you a little background, my mother, these are for the people that don't know who I am. So if you know this story, just bear with us. But my mother had a massive brainstem stroke when she was my age. She was 52 and I'm 52. And it left her bedridden. And she had a feeding tube, catheter, everything for 11 years. For 11 years. Larry worked a full-time job because Larry was in his 50s. So Larry would have to go work. He worked for the county and he would work his, what time did you have to be at work?
6.
Yeah, he had to be at work early. So he would get up and go to work at 6 o'clock in the morning. What time did you leave the house?
About 5.
So he left the house about 5 a.m. and went and worked, 8 hours?
We worked 10 hours.
Okay, he would work a 10-hour day.
Because we worked
You're off on Fridays?
4 days a week.
Okay, so he worked 4 days a week. So what would happen is he would go to work and work a 10-hour shift and then come home to a wife that was bedridden, my mom. And what all did you have to do? Didn't you have to get up in the middle of the night and give her water and stuff in her feeding tube?
Sometimes I did, sometimes I didn't.
Yes, my mom would have periods of where she would get constipated and Larry would have to get up every couple of hours, even go into a full-time job to take care of my mom. And her feedings were done through a tube, but she could eat, but my mom was
Couldn't get her to drink.
yeah, you couldn't get her. She would choke on liquid. So she couldn't have ice cream or anything to drink, but she could have solids because she didn't choke on solids. And that was for 11 years. So on Fridays, he would go, did you go to the bank on Fridays?
No.
He'd get up in the morning and go to the bank. And he would always bring my mom, shrimp dinner from Captain D's?
Yeah.
He brought my mom a shrimp dinner.
That's what she wanted.
Every Friday. And my mother did not understand sleep. Like her days and nights were mixed up. So Larry would have to deal with the TV being on all night long. And I want you to know, to this day, Larry leaves the TV on all night long and goes to sleep because he learned that from my mother. He would roll over and my mom would be wide awake watching TV laughing.
I got to go to the bathroom.
Okay,
I'll be back.
Okay. Anyway, he's very special to me. And he went through a lot with my mother. And my mother, she was 11 years like that. So Larry took care of my mom for 11 years. And one day I got a call at work that my mom had passed away, and she passed away choking on a hot dog. It was devastating. So Larry, God love him, has been through a lot. Him and my mom got married later in life. They were both 40 years old when, I think they were 40. They got married in 1991. So he is very special to me. So I told my mom that when the time came and my dad needed to be taken, I call him my dad because he is my dad. My real dad's passed away. And so I said, when the time comes, I will take care of him. And 7 years ago, he got very sick. And so I stopped working and stayed home with him. And I have for 7 years. And I am not a stay-at-home person. I have worked 2 jobs my entire life. I used to be in sales for a wireless company and worked there for a long time. And when he needed me, then I quit and I got married to Shane and moved. And Shane didn't want me to work. When Larry started getting a little better, Shane didn't want me to work. Isn't that weird that I'm not a stay-at-home mom and your husband doesn't want you to work? But he didn't. And so I didn't. And I took care of Larry and have been ever since. So that's a little bit of my background. So sometimes if you're new to my channel and you see me talking about Larry, that's who Larry is. He lives here, and I am really having to work balance in my life, trying to have a farm and having people pull in the driveway. And my dad's on hospice, and that's been tough. That happened, I'd say, a month ago. He had cancer, and if you weren't following me at the time, we had to drive to Birmingham every single day for treatment for a month. No, a month and a half. And so I had to close my farm. And I really have not been busy since I closed my farm in September. But I wasn't home to do field trips and tours and stuff because I was taking him to treatment every day. And so at that point is when Kayla came into my life, because my babies are rotten, which is my animals. And the thought of me not being here and them used to be being here all the time concerned me. And there was no way I could do cleaning and taking care of the farm and do my dad at the same time. So Kayla took over my farm while I took care of my dad. So that's how Kayla, if you don't know who Kayla is, she is our help. And so she has become my right-hand lady, and she is very valuable to my farm. And even though my dad doesn't have to go to treatment anymore, hang on. I forgot this has to thaw. So even though my dad doesn't have to go to treatment anymore, when they put him on hospice, the last week of his radiation, he went straight downhill. And he was having trouble with balance. He was having trouble with memory. Because he was having radiation, he had a little bit of trouble with his kidneys. And so I was having to stay inside all the time my farm was being neglected, and I was feeling very pulled in both directions. So Kayla ended up staying with us and helping me. So now what we do is 1 minute Kayla will be out there working and I'm inside, and then we flip. And then I go outside and work, and she stays in here with Larry, and then we flip. It's kind of like we go back and forth. And when there's a field trip, Kayla and I are really juggling. And like when it's time for like the field trip's lunch, she's like, I'm going in and checking on Larry. And she'll come in here, and then she'll get him in the golf cart so he can see the kids play. So not the golf cart, the side-by-side, the gator. So she'll have him out in the gator, and he can sit and watch the whole field trip because, you know, he lost his driver's license and he's lost a lot of independency. So he's been struggling. And so getting him outdoors and letting him see the kids play with the animals and the teachers and the parents interacting, it brings him joy. It brings him joy. And he has his favorite chicken. His favorite chicken is named Brownie. Brownie is very special to him. And then there's a chicken called, I think he calls her Scissors. Hope he's okay. He hasn't come out of the bathroom. It's called Scissors because she has a cross beak, and he's very attached to those two chickens. So often he asks me or Kayla to take him out there to see those two chickens because he loves them. So that's a little bit about me. Kayla is also my moderator, so you're going to see her on here handling any kind of spam or whatever. But Kayla has definitely become a character on my farm for sure. So when you hear the word Kayla, that's who that is. She helps with Larry in my farm. And she went from doing it 2 or 3 days a week to every single day because Larry, I don't feel comfortable being out in the farm, leaving him alone. And I don't feel comfortable staying inside with him and leaving my farm alone. So it takes two to make a farm go right. Okay. And so we are team tagging a lot. And Another thing about me is my whole life I have struggled with depression. And so on Mondays and Wednesdays, I go live to talk about how I got to where I am today. And so I talk about teaching my dream was to dance in New York. It didn't happen, but it is happening right now because what I do in the mornings when I go live is I teach people how to dance, meaning teach people how to make a difference in someone else's life. Like if you're depressed and you're sitting on the couch, if you'll get off the couch and go make a difference in someone's life, you will be amazed at the healing that you will get by not concentrating on yourself, but getting out of your comfort zone to make a difference in someone else's life, because that right there changed my life. When I got this farm and started opening it up to people that needed it, it began to change my whole life. And I found myself not concentrating on my own problems, but trying to make a difference in someone else's life. And I'm a nonprofit, so all the money that comes into my farm goes right back into my farm, and it keeps my farm open so that I can continue to reach more people and provide a safe place for those people that need it. And the tours started in 2020, and that's when I became a nonprofit. It came about simply. I thought my dad fell. Sorry, heart attack there. We have a painter that's another story. My house got flooded a couple of weeks ago, and so we have construction going on in my house and have for the past month. Anyway, when I started opening my farm for tours, it began to change my life. And when I see people come into my farm and forget they have a $500 power bill, they actually get in the moment. And when I see people get into the moment and forget all the stress they have going on into their lives, it is amazing. But as soon as they enter the gates of my farm, they forget all the stress that's going on, and they're able to get in the moment and play with some animals. Animals are kissing them, and my animals, I've worked really hard to get my animals tame. I've spent the past 5 years working with them, teaching them silly things. If you're just following me, I'll give you an example. At feeding time, I tell the pigs to I'll say, you've got school in the morning, you got to get on the bus early, go brush your teeth. And all the pigs run to their pig house. And all I have to say is go brush your teeth. And every one of them run to the pig house because they know they're fixing to get fed. So I taught them to do that just by repetition and doing the same thing over and over and over again. You're hitting me with your stick.
Oh.
I was telling them that how I tell the pigs to go brush their teeth and they go get in the bed.
Oh, yeah.
And Taterbug, my alpaca, was born last January. And so I was hands-on with Taterbug from day one. And I just started teaching him how to kiss. And so when people come to my farm, they go like this, and he comes up and kisses. And so, Hey Mickey, which is another alpaca that was raised at another petting zoo, she watched me do it with Taterbug. So she taught Hey Mickey to do it. So then when he came to my farm, I would have 2 alpacas that knew how to kiss. And it's really cute. It's really cute. Who's your favorite animal?
Brownie.
Brownie's his favorite. What makes Brownie your favorite?
Huh?
What makes him your favorite?
I don't know. I just like them silkies.
I told him your other favorite.
Oh.
I'll see if you say what I say. Who's your other favorite chicken?
Oh. Stitches.
I told you. He shows favoritism. Stitches is his favorite. He names most of the chickens. So he named. No, Brownie came here named.
Yeah. Brownie was already.
Brownie was already named, and Brownie knew his name. But Stitches is because her beak is crossed. And just to let you know, most chickens with cross beak do not live. I don't really know how I
didn't know it till she was grown.
Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't pay attention to it either till she was grown. But she has to eat a certain, her container has to be a certain way because she can't pick food off the ground. You know, majority of I'm a sanctuary, so I have a duck that can't pick food off the ground, and I have a chicken. So the duck was, I'll just tell you the story. You mean get you a chair?
Mm-mm.
Okay. I rescued Wallace probably a year ago. Wallace was ran over by a car, and Wallace is missing part of his top beak. So he can't pick a bug or anything off the ground. So I have to put this container out there so he can scoop his food like a shovel, because he has to scoop it up. If you watch him eat, he literally is like a shovel and scoops his food up because he can't pick it off the ground. And then Stitches is the same way. She can't pick, because her beak is crossed, she can't pick food off the ground. So I have this container out there that I keep food in for Wallace and Stitches so that they can eat, because they have to kind of, I need to watch Stitches eat up close. I think she probably scoops her food too.
Well, I've noticed her sharpening that bill, but she does pick off the ground.
I don't think she can get anything up.
Well, she picks off the ground, so
I think that's just part of being a chicken. But anyway, so my animals are pretty tame. I've worked really hard. The bull, most bulls are not tame, and Dexter is very tame. I got Dexter, which is my bull, at 15 months old, and I worked with him from day one. And to be honest with you, I was so innocent. I didn't really know what all could happen to me with him. And I was just innocent. And I think that he sensed my innocence and never hurt me. So, and then we got Dee Dee, which is, pregnant now. And it took her 3 years before she would let us touch her. When we would have people over to feed them, she would literally stay back, and all the animals were up at the fence, and she would stay. She wouldn't come anywhere near the fence. And then all of a sudden one day she was like, "Oh, I'm at the petting zoo." And she's been great ever since. She's more tame than Dexter. Dexter's moody, so I have to be careful with Dexter. But Dee Dee is never mean. She's fantastic. And Boyfriend, which is one of my male pigs, he came to me knowing how to sit. And I thought that was the coolest thing, that pig knew how to sit. And so often when people would come tour, I would show them how he knew how to sit. And I was out there one day with treats, and all the pigs, I have 3 pigs. They were all around me. And I told Boyfriend to sit, and all 3 pigs sat. And I was like, "Do they know how to sit?" So Boyfriend taught Shishi and Freddie how to sit. So all 3 of my pigs know how to sit. And so when I learned that pigs were that smart, that kids learn like that, I started teaching them. I said, if I say go brush your teeth every day and take them to go get fed, they'll learn what brush your teeth means. So I just started doing it, and it's the cutest thing. Go brush your teeth. They head to the pig house, and I've taught them to sit, stand, sit. So they stand on command. But my animals are pretty tame. Pretty tame, aren't they? All but my dogs. My dogs are crazy. They're just, I gotta let this thaw, so it's gonna take me a minute to
I'm
cook.
fixing to go out. I don't think I can stay out long with that wind blowing, but I'm going to see.
Okay, be careful. He this past week we keep finding him in the car. I'm like, why are you sitting in the car? And I think he just needs a change of scenery. And it's warm in the car because the sun is beating down on the car and he don't have to worry about the wind. So often I find him sitting in the car. And I think that's just what he does. But so I wanted you to know a little bit about me because a lot of you are new followers from Lester. And I want you to know that my page is a very safe place to come. I do talk about me in my religion. I am a Christian, but that doesn't mean that I throw my beliefs on you. I don't judge, and I tell you how I got to where I am, and I definitely believe that was God's plan for my life. But I don't judge you for what you believe, and I try really hard to make this a safe place for all. And I know there's a lot of controversy about the way the world is today, and I don't understand it. I don't, but I know that I'm not powerful enough to change the world as far as people's beliefs. I just tell you what I believe, and I teach kids that come to my farm how the animals get along. No, even though they look different, they're different colors, they have different languages, their mannerisms are different, but they all get along. And I try to teach the people that follow me that same thing. Is even though let's see who's on here. Teresa, say Teresa believes one thing, and then Marie believes something else. That's okay. Opinions are okay, but like when we start throwing our opinion on other people is when there starts being chaos. And I just believe that we all should love. And I open my arms and go, I love you all. And I'm glad you're here. So let's see, what else can I tell you? I'll tell you my goals. I feel like God is calling me. How do I say this? Right now, when the public comes to my farm, I'm open to the public on Friday, Saturday, and Sundays. And there is a fee to come into the farm. And the reason is because I have to pay for this farm, right? Like I can't do everything for free. But I pray one day that God will open the door and provide for my farm so that I can be free to everyone. But I don't know how to do that, because what I have found in the past is a lot of times I'll just say, make a donation, and then they don't ever make a donation. Or I don't know how to, like business wise, I'm trying to figure all that out. I've only been a nonprofit for 5 years, and it takes them, like a lot of nonprofits, you find rescues begging for money because they have to do fundraisers in order to do all that they do. And I have been in sales my whole life, and it's hard for me to do that. I'd rather bust my butt and make the money myself and provide for the animals and the farm myself is what I would rather do. But I'm learning how all this works. It's like a learning process because I have never owned my own business. And so I am learning, but I pray, like right now, I'm open to group homes and sober living facilities, domestic violence, people with autism. I have a Remy Foundation. So every person that comes to my farm with autism, all of that is free. And there's no way, and I tell you this, so if you're following me for the first time, I want you to understand how important you are to me, because there's no way I can be free like that and open to the public. I'm able to do that because of you. Did you hear me? People in the back, this is not because of anything that I'm doing. This is because of you. And let me tell you what I mean. My page is starting to grow. So I'm starting to get income from social media. And I'm almost getting to the point where I can pay for all my feed through social media, which means I can be free to the people that need it. And so you guys are the ones making a difference in these people's lives. Yes, I'm here to present it, but it's you that's helping me get to where I need to go. It is you. And I'm going to tell you, I have big dreams. Okay. I am a goal setter and I want 50 acres. I just said 50. I have 50. I want to expand. And why? Not because of me, because I want my animals to have pasture. Okay. Right now they're on about 3 acres. And we have 17 acres in total. But down at the creek area, there is a ton of coyotes, and there's no way I could ever put my animals down there and feel safe. So they're up on the top of the mountain, and there's about 3 acres. And I pray that one day that God will bless my farm and expand it so I can reach more people. That's what I pray. And I am busting my tail to get to that point. If that's what God plans for my life, I don't know. He may want me right here. And I will tell you, if I am being, listen to me. Have you ever been in a situation where if God took something away from you, would you still serve him and trust him? And I tell myself all that all the time, because I'm like, if God takes social media away from me, or if God takes Sneed's farmhouse away from me, would I still serve him and trust him? And I'm going to tell you, there was a day in my life where I would have said no. I would be mad as heck. But to this day, I know I trust so much because of my past that I know that he has something greater in store for me. And in my mind, I think about the disciples and how they traveled to spread the good word, right? They traveled. They didn't stay in one spot. They traveled. And I think about me and how God is using me. And I thought, if he took Sneed's farm away and took me to South Alabama, would I trust him? And the answer is yes. I really am strong enough. I would miss my farm tremendously, but I know that there's a mission for my life and a goal for my life and a purpose, that he has me on a path that I trust so much that if it all got taken away from me today, that I would trust in his decision and know that there's something greater in store for me and my life. And I can't even believe that I'm to the point where I would even say that, because I know, like, when my mother was taken away from me at such a young age, I was in my 20s when my mom was taken away from me. And my mom was the foundation of our family. She ran circles around me. And when all that happened, I was mad at God for the longest time. I was so mad. And then when my dad passed away and my mom passed away, I was very young. And so living with no parents was very difficult, and I was mad as heck. And so I have learned to overcome those things, and I overcame them from me living in South Alabama and moving here. And what I mean by that is, when Shane and I got married, I moved to South Alabama where Shane lived. Okay. And we lived there for 2 years, and I started Stapleton Fitness I've taught aerobics my whole life. So I started this fitness group for women, and we met twice a week. And I'm telling you, this group of women were powerful, and I just loved them. And I was very involved in my community and so forth. And Shane came home and told me that he had a job offer in Coleman. And I literally thought I was going to die. And I was like, are you serious? Like, I lived at the beach, y'all. Like, beach, Coleman, really? And I loved my house. I loved my community. I loved everything about everything. And so he would go to work, and I'd be like, dear Heavenly Father, do you hear me? I do not want to move. Please. I love my community. I love my house. Please do not move this. Do not let him get that job. I was praying like that. I was like, do not let him get that job, God. I'm supposed to be in Stapleton. Every single day, I would pray that. I would be on my knees praying over my husband's pillow, going, God, no, do not take us from here. And so my husband got the job, and I was like, okay, maybe our house will not sell. I was like, dear Jesus, please do not sell our house. Our house sold in less than 24 hours. And I was like, dear Jesus, are you listening to me? There's no God. He ain't listening to my prayers. There is not a God. I was frustrated. I was so frustrated about moving here, right? Well, we moved here. I don't know a soul. I know no one. And I have my dad that repeats himself constantly. And I'm like, I feel like I'm going crazy. So my husband said, let's get some chickens. And I don't want no chicken, And that's where it started with the animals. And to this day, 5 years later, April will be 5 years that we have lived here. I can honestly say that if God would have listened to my prayers, I would have missed this whole blessing because I was praying for my will. I would have missed all this. And I tell Shane all the time, I'm like, Shane, we did not move here for your job. Like, we did not move here for you. We moved here for me. And I would have missed this whole entire blessing because I was stuck on my will instead of trusting that God had something in store for me. So that's how I'm strong enough to say, if something got taken away from me today, that I would trust that he has something better in store for me. And I think about the disciples, and I think about how they went around the world to spread his good news. And I'm like, he has me. I thought when I first started this nonprofit, I thought I was supposed to do tours and make a difference. That's what I thought. And then all of a sudden, he put social media in front of me. And the next thing you know, I'm meeting Jason and Brooke, and I'm meeting Lester that is holding my hand and helping me grow. And I'm like, he is putting me all over the world now to spread his goodness. He's putting me in so many different countries and so many different states. And I thought in my life, my dream was to live in the middle of New York and dance. And in my head, my whole entire life, I thought that meant physically dancing in the middle of New York, like moving to New York and physically dancing on Broadway. That's what I envisioned my whole life. And I realized that my dream has come true. Because when I go to my analytics, and I can't even say the word, I go out here to see I can see what age group follows me. I can see where you come from, what state you're in. Do you know what the top state is that follows me? Yeah, New York City. And I'm like, how crazy is it that I'm actually dancing in New York City? I'm teaching people how to dance in New York City, and that's the top city that follows me. And in my head, I'm like, I envisioned this as dancing, and I realized that God was answering my prayers. It's just in a different way. And I think he's using me to talk about my testimony in order to teach people how to trust, and how to be the best version of you that you can be. Not to be the best version of Judy, to be the best version of Heidi. Like, what does the best version of Heidi look like? And so those are the things that we talk about on Mondays and Wednesday mornings. So if you're a morning person, join me on our live to talk about real life stuff and how I got to where I am today. And I use real life situations that I'm in to tell you how I don't sit it out, but I dance. Because often when we get a lot of stress under us, we want to sit it out because it's hard. It's stressful. It gives us anxiety. And we just want to, we just want to sit it out and just not do anything about it. But when you get out of your comfort zone, try something new, concentrate on making someone else's day, you suddenly forget about all the bad things that are going on in your own life because you're making someone else smile. And that's what changed my life. So that's my mission. With my farm is to make a difference in people's lives. And like I said, everything that I make it goes right back into my farm. And it helps me the past couple of years when I file taxes. I will tell you, I do not have a salary at all. I don't. What I'm doing is from the love of my heart and my passion. Maybe one day I'll have a salary, but that I don't. Everything that comes into this farm goes right back into this farm. And it's not that I want to get more animals. It's not that I want to expand as far as like getting more stuff. See, that's what's wrong with the kids today, I feel like. So oftentimes the kids come to my farm and they're, what you got next? What's next? Where's that? Is that all you got? They're like real hyper. And that's when I zone in and go, I want you to make best friends with one animal in my farm. And I want you to come back and I want you to tell me how you became best friends with that animal. And suddenly the kid slows down and they're not going, what's next? What's next? What's next? And they come back to me and go, you're not going to believe this. I made best friends with Leroy. I said, how do you make best friends with Leroy? Well, I went over there and I sang him a song and I was petting him and his eyes were closed and I realized that he loved me. And so you see what I mean? It's like, it's not how many animals you have. It's not that I'm wanting to have this huge farm with all different kinds of animals. That's not my focus. My focus is to get kids to live in the moment and notice what's happening in the moment, not this, they're used to game in front of them all the time, going 90, quick, 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 quick. And I want to slow them down. And I feel like bringing them back to the roots and showing them how animals live will slow them down. And it's been a success in my farm watching that happen. And oftentimes when I do field trips, like I'm out to try to change their lives. And what ends up happening is these little kids are changing my life. And it is just amazing. It's just amazing. Well, I was going to cook chocolate chip cookies, but apparently he wants peanut butter pie. And now I can't cook it or I can't make it simply because nothing is, like this was in the freezer. And if you don't get this at room temperature, then it doesn't do right. So I guess I'm not cooking while I'm on with y'all. Dee Dee, my cow, still holds on. I had a talk with Dexter and he won't tell me. So I have no idea if she's pregnant or not. I don't know if I'm just wishing she's pregnant. She is leaking mucus, which means I have her due March 27th, which is next week. So we will see. I also have her due for April 27th. I don't know why I have that. So who knows? It may be April 27th or maybe March 27th. Georgia, that's on here right now, was one of my people when I talked about Stapleton and having a group fitness class. She was in my class. And as a matter of fact, when I came to Coleman and got chickens, I named every single chicken after my best friends in Stapleton. That's how much I miss them. Yes, I did. I love them. I love you, Georgia. And thank you for continuing to support me, even though I'm hundreds of miles away from you. So, anyway. Oh, well, I already did this. So I don't think I can do it. Welcome, Debbie. My page is growing. It has been over the past couple of months. My page is growing like crazy, and it brings tears to my eyes because it's just emotional to watch it happen. My face is turning fire engine red. I do this. I don't know what's wrong with me. So when my face turns fire engine red, just ignore it. But yeah, my page is growing so fast, and I have this vision of what kind of creator I want to be. And I don't want to be this creator that doesn't read messages and doesn't respond. But I'm going to tell y'all something is really hard sometimes, because when you're trying to film and do field trips and tours and take care of your dad, and if I don't comment back to you or I don't heart, know that you're loved. And know that if you took the time to comment, I care. Know that. It means a lot to me. It's just sometimes it gets overwhelming. I'm just going to show y'all. I'm going to take y'all in here and show y'all what I'm dealing with. So for the ones that are just following me, my house got flooded. And you want to hear the story why? Show you. Here's the bathroom that got flooded. And hang on, let me take you in here. See, there's the sheetrock. Let's see, I can't do this right. See the hole in the wall? Only a petting zoo can tell the story, but Queso, my tortoise, was living in the bathroom because it was too cold for him to be outside. And he wedged himself behind the toilet valve and pulled the entire valve out of the wall and flooded my house. So for the past month, I have been dealing with workers in and out of my house, no flooring. We had no air for a week or two. It was awful, but I got to show you my bedroom. Hang on. Now, it is a wreck because he's in here doing it. Tag. Okay. I don't know if y'all can tell, but my walls are purple. And I love them. Now, they're dark. I like dark colors in a bedroom. Can y'all tell? Let's see. Can you tell that it's purple? But I'm having all of this redone while I'm in the middle of a house destruction. This is my bathroom. It hasn't been painted yet. It's going to be a lighter purple. We got granite for Christmas, but the cabinets are going to be painted, and then all this is going to be painted. So what did Shane think? He was like, "You are not painting this bedroom purple." I'm like, "It's not purple." And he was like, "What is it then?" I'm like, "It's not like a bright purple like you're thinking of. It's a pretty purple. So just trust me." I go, "Just trust me." I love it. I've always wanted a purple bedroom. Purple is my favorite color. And I was like, I'm going to try to paint this purple. It took me forever to pick out the color because I was scared. When you paint your room purple, you're scared to death, right? You're like, what if this is a train wreck? Like, what if I get this and it's so ugly? So I was so worried, but I like dark bedrooms. Me too. I don't know, it makes me sleep better. But here, I'll show you my living room. Okay, you have to understand Shane and I are opposites. I'm a city girl and he's a country bumpkin, okay? And we look like he's got all this. That's my husband. That's not me. That is not me at all. That's not me. But, we compromise, right? Two people, it can't be my way all the time, right? Because I wouldn't be a very good wife if it was all about me. So I compromise and go, okay, I go, why don't you put the deer heads in your new shop? Oh my gosh, those deer heads would look so good in your shop. They would look great. And he's like, the deer heads are staying in the living room. I'm like, oh my gosh, we're going to scare kids if they ever come in our house. There's just like dead animals all over the wall. But Shane is a serious, hang on. I'm live, but you can come on. Okay, bye. He is a serious hunter. We have a house in Georgiana, which is about 3 hours from here, and it's a cabin. And he leases 600 acres to hunt. Yeah, he's serious. He's serious. The first time I went hunting with him, okay, I'll just set the tone, but the only t-shirts I owned was the t-shirts that I wore to the gym. I dressed up everywhere I went. I wore business suits every day, right? I'm in sales, at the ballpark. I wasn't t-shirt. I was a cute shirt and short kind of girl. That was who I was. And so Shane asked me to go hunting with him, and I put on my makeup, and I was fairly new to dating him, so I sprayed on some perfume and looked all cute. I had on my little hunting gear, and he goes, "You have on makeup?" And I was like, "Yes." And he was like, "Why?" I said, "How am I supposed to look cute for the pictures that we're going to take hunting if I don't have makeup on?" He goes, "The deer can smell your makeup." I'm like, "The deer are not going to smell my makeup." And he was like, "Yes, they will." He made me go to the house, get in the shower. I had to take a shower with some kind of soap that has no scent. He made me rub it in my hair. He made me take off all my makeup, all my perfume. And he was like, "You are not going hunting looking like that." And I'm like, "Dude, I'm going to look like a train wreck to all your friends and stuff. They're going to think your girlfriend's ugly because I'm going to look like who to thunk it up here in the tree stand." It's like, Judy, that's how serious he is about hunting. He really did flip his lid. He's like, "You are not." He won't even let me wear deodorant. If I go hunting with him, I am to not wear any deodorant. I feel like that is ridiculous. I'm like, I mean, why? He's like, "The deer can smell your deodorant. If the wind blows and you have deodorant on, it would scare the deer, and then we're not going to see deer all day." I'm like, "Dude, it is not that serious. Like, it is not that serious." He is serious when it goes to hunting. He spends a lot of money and a lot of time. Yes, Lord, don't fart for sure. He would kick me out of the hunting stand, the tree stand, whatever, if I did that. Mary, do you remember my story about going hunting with him? Did y'all hear that story? Do you want me to tell y'all the story? It's really funny. I'll tell y'all the story. So that same date that I had to take all my makeup off and all that stuff. Well, we were fairly new to dating, and it was a weekend trip, so like, like when you're newly dating someone, like you worry about what if I need to poo, or you know what I mean? Like I don't want to pee in front, so there was only one bathroom in the whole entire place. Well, this particular day, the weekend that I went for the first time, he was laying tile in the bathroom. Okay. So he is in the bathroom all day long. Well, I had not pooped. Okay. I had not done number 2. But like, I felt like I didn't need to do number 2, but I felt like I needed to fart. Okay. I'm just being honest. I was like, I think I need to fart. So I went out to the backyard, and I was walking around, and I was like, oh my God, I'm so nervous. And so I farted. And when I farted, I pooped in my pants. Yeah. And I'm thinking in my head, I just pooped my pants. What am I going to do? I just started dating this guy, and I had pooped in my pants. And oh, dear Jesus, he's in the bathroom. What am I going to do? And I am in the backyard panicking, going, please do not run down my leg. Oh my gosh, I am dying. Okay. So I'm trying to strategize. Like, what am I going to do? We're in the country, y'all. Do I go out in the woods and wipe with leaves and dig and bury my underwear? Like, what am I going to do? So I hear him in the bathroom, and I snuck in, and I got my purse, and I just left. I just said, I'm out of here. Like, I ain't saying nothing. So I got in the car with poop in my pants, sitting down. Yeah. And I drove to the Chevron. Okay. It was up the street. I drove to the Chevron, and I went into the stall, and I was dying. I didn't know whether to cry or laugh. Like, at this point, when you pooped your pants on your first date, like, you don't know what to do. So I got cleaned up. Luckily, there was no one in the bathroom. So I got myself all cleaned up. I don't have no drawers on, right? I'm like commando. And when I come back to the house, he's standing in the front yard. He's like, where did you go? And I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to say? What am I going to say? I mean, talking about red face, I was about to, like, I was having anxiety, feeling like I was going to vomit. And I said, it's my time of the month, and I needed to go get something. He goes, oh, okay. And he let me slide. So I did not tell him I had pooped my pants for it was probably 2 years later that I said, hey, remember that time we went hunting? I crapped myself, and he was like, what? I said, I swear I crapped myself the first time you took me hunting. He was like, how'd you do that? Like, I'm like, oh no, I went in the backyard to pass gas and did it all up in my britches. And he was like, no, you did not. And to this day, we laugh about it, because y'all, that was probably the worst time of my entire life. I'm just saying. I literally, and he told his parents that I crapped myself on our first date. I should get him to tell y'all the story, because it was really funny. But anyway, we have fun together. But yeah, totally pooped my pants. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Shane is behind the scene. You're not going to see him much, because my husband works all the time. All the time. He is a school teacher, but he doesn't work in a school setting. He works for the state of Alabama. So, like, let's say Toyota is trying to bring a plant to Alabama. The state of Alabama makes a contract with Toyota and says, we will certify all your welders that come to Toyota. So Toyota sends all their welders to Shane to get certified. So he works with a lot of big companies in Alabama, and he certifies all the welders that go into those jobs. So that's what he works for the state. But he also owns his own business on the side. So, okay, someone's at my door. So I'm going to go. It's probably a contractor. I enjoyed our talk. I'll see you next time. Bye.